All right, one game. It's all done. That's it. That's the hockey for today. Tomorrow's busy. What I'm doing, of course, people are like, oh, Jan's gonna have a nice quiet day. Well, what I'm doing is I'm getting ahead of tomorrow. So I've already got the preview board ready for tomorrow's games. I'm going to do the preview tonight for tomorrow. So I don't have to get up early tomorrow and do the 14 game preview. So that'll get posted tonight. And now we're going to talk about Tampa Bay and Detroit. A game which I thought, honestly, should probably have been a lot more lopsided. The goaltending in Detroit has become quite the story. Now, once the season's over and I start doing videos on how teams miss the playoffs, Detroit's goaltending has not been the problem this year. I've said it before. I'll throw it out there again. If Yzerman decided to keep both Greiss and Bernier for next year, I would not be entirely surprised. They've both been very good. McElhinney was rattled during warm-ups. He was supposed to be the backup, but Chris Gibson was playing. Doesn't end up being a big deal. It really doesn't. But it's noteworthy because, remember, Anisimov was the backup in Vancouver when something happened with Forsberg, so you got to keep that in mind, right? So it's Gibson versus Bernier, and it takes 16 seconds to get the first goal today. So the game yesterday, there were no goals through 65 minutes. I was ready for this to just be a wall of text and then a shootout goal at the bottom if need be. But Coleman scores from Gaudreau at 16 seconds, and it was a Hronek turnover. First shot by Tampa. Hronek had a rough game. And honestly, the score is close and all that, but Hronek had a rough game, and we'll get into that. There was a 2-on-1 for the next shift. Colton had a shot that was stopped. Tampa looked absolutely lethal early and often in this game. Bernier, very busy, and this was just Tampa coming out, like I said, 16 seconds in and saying, okay, this is not going to be the same as the last game at all. Bernier stopped a Savard shot. He's earning his pay today. Wings finally pressed at 8.5 minutes. However, they weren't getting chances in high danger areas. This is not a case where they were pressuring and the Bolts were on their heels. Tampa Bay kept their structure and kept them to the outside. Barré-Boulet then had a chance that was stopped. The Bolts pressed again after that. They were getting more than a shot per minute, and the ratio of shots was almost 4-1 in favor of Tampa against Detroit. So basically, Bernier, it's another long game for him, but his stats are pretty excellent, so there's that. And if not for Bernier, the score today would have been much, much uglier. Cirelli was denied. It's been, 20 games since he scored a goal, something along those lines? It's been a while, so yeah. Last minute press then by the Wings, but we go to the second period. And again, it's early. It's that first shift. It's Sergachev scoring from Gordon Coleman at 109. And first goal for him in 27 games. So Sergachev gets his third goal of the season. And Tampa Bay's up 2-0. And at this point, my brain says, all right, so this game's done, right? Wings would press. They'd draw a power play. That power play led to a shorthanded 3-on-2 for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Coleman had a shot that was stopped. The Bolts did kill it off. They didn't allow a shot to the Wings power play that first time around. And the shots overall were 25-8 at that point. Not in favor of Detroit either. Yeah, it was all Tampa. The Bolts pressed after the kill, and Bernier at that stage of the game, shortly before the halfway point, was on pace for more than 50 saves. 50 saves is the highest total of saves that a goaltender's had this year. Bernier tied that mark. It looked like he might eclipse it. He doesn't, but he was very, very busy. Veleno then takes a penalty. The Bolts draw the first power play. The Wings would draw their first power play, I should say. And the Wings would manage to kill that off. Filppula, then guilty of a turnover. McDonough fires it wide after that turnover. Bernier robbed Joseph. The Wings then had a 4-on-2 the other way. And it goes in the net. So great save by Bernier. Puck the other way and in the net. And it's Zadina. Finally gets another one. From Nemesnikov and Ernie at 13:37. So that made it 2-1. And it keeps things interesting. And it's at this point where Detroit starts to join the game. Where you get the feeling like, okay, so it's not the Globetrotters and the Washington Generals. Bolts tried to answer. Bernier denied Johnson. Glendening then had a chance the other way, which was stopped as well. The Wings play definitely picked up after that goal, and in the last minute, Bernier denies Killorn. So we go to the third period with it 2-1 in favor of Tampa. The Wings got the early chance this time. And that first 5 minutes, they had good jump. And you know what? they did manage to outshoot Tampa in that third period, and I thought that was accurate, that they outchanced them as well. Bolts were defending pretty well, keeping most of it to the outside, preventing anything from getting in too close. So there's a power play then for Tampa. During the delayed penalty, Tampa Bay pressed for over a minute. They had the puck for over a minute at a time, and a really, really strong play there. So the Wings would kill that off, and Bernier continues to be the story there. With 7:44 left, Johnson then takes a penalty, and this is where things get crazy. This is where Tampa Bay ends up winning the game. Detroit ends up losing it. So the Wings get a power play. Gibson stops a chance from Vrana, who's denied there, and Vrana's next shot was blocked. Killorn then takes a penalty, so it's a 5-on-3 for 10 seconds. On the ensuing faceoff, Gaudreau puts his hand on the puck on the faceoff to draw it back. That's penalty. That's an automatic penalty. If they see that, they have to call it. And so it's a 5-on-3 for 2 minutes, which broke the graphic. The graphic still said 10 seconds and then just showed power play. But it's a 5-on-3 for 2 minutes, and there were 3 members of the Lightning in the box. And even though Johnson was the first one in, his penalty's up, well, he can't come out now because it's a 5-on-3, so he has to wait until the whistle before he can come out. So it's kind of a mess, but this is where Detroit loses the game. And I hate to say it because I really like Hronek, but there were 2 mishandles during that 5-on-3. 2 opportunities where it goes off his stick and down the ice. And there was the one of them was a blast he shot from the point that missed the net, and so it goes out the other way. And there was another where they pass it to him and it goes off his stick and out to neutral ice. And that was really, I thought, what broke up any momentum Detroit was trying to build during that 5-on-3. Gibson stopped a Vrana shot. Everything's all killed off. They pulled the goaltender in the final 2 minutes. Detroit absolutely trying to press for this. Gibson then saved he stops a Gagne chance, and it wasn't that it was a great chance or anything, but he made sure that puck gets stopped, and he holds on to it. And Chris Gibson with a pretty good game. Funny, too, after the game, Anson Carter said he didn't know who Chris Gibson was, and all I could think was, so you haven't played the old EA Sports NHL games. Gibson was a fantastic prospect. I want to say, 2015? NHL 15? 15 or 16, he would develop into a starting goaltender. So you'd be like, all right, I need Gibson. And then, it hasn't worked out for him at the NHL level the way that EA Sports thought it might when they put him together in the game. But he gets his first win in over 3 years. So that's a pretty decent amount of time to wait in between wins, and shows dedication to the game. This was the last home game of the season for Detroit, so they fall 2-1. Tampa goes to 35-14-3, keep in the hunt for that first place spot right in the division. For Detroit, 18-27-9, and they continue to be hard workers with great goaltending. And again, there's a lot of potential for next season. Gibson saves 21 out of 22 in the win. Bernier saves 40 out of 42 in the loss. Almost double the shots for Tampa, but how we got there was different. Tampa outshoots them 19-6 in the first, 17-9 in the second. Detroit actually outshot them 8-6 in the third. Final shots 42-23 for Tampa. Tampa Bay, so 23. So this is 22 out of 23 for Gibson then. Sorry, that just wasn't updated. I just throw that on the board. But yeah, it's not like there was another goaltender or equipment guy goes in or Zamboni driver. So Gibson, 22 saves on 23 shots. Tampa 0 for 2 on the power play. Detroit 0 for 4, and that's what cost them. Hits 13-11 for Tampa. Not a really heavy hitting game. Tampa also resting players. Worthy of a note on this. Block shots 13-12 for Detroit. And the giveaways 11-2 for Detroit, which I thought was very telling as well. That's the reason that's on the board. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.